Oh, hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Hi. Oh my
How are
god.
you doing?
You look so good, both of you. What the fucking
Oh,
hell?
thank you, thank you.
Warning! We're broke bitches, so money for expensive recording materials doesn't really exist. Our sincerest apologies for the shitty quality and the little technical explosions once in a while.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Hello,
Hi.
hello.
Podem gore.
Det går bra. Vem är
Okay.
där?
They got got. Okay, so welcome to our new podcast called In Moa. I am Pilar Celenio. I am recording from the city of Buenos Aires here in Argentina, and I am with two beautiful ladies who would like to start introducing themselves.
Hey, Gracia, you start.
Goddammit, okay. I am Gracia. I am recording from the beautiful city of Aarhus in Denmark. Oh yeah, we stay in Denmark, people.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is about it. Now let's go with Pau.
Yes. I am Pau. I am normally. This is like I'm in Denmark right now too. I'm in a city nobody knows, Fredericia. It's 2 hours away with the train from Copenhagen, which is a city people probably do know. But I'm normally not here. And normally I live in Belgium, in
Yeah.
the city Antwerp. But we had a old student weekend this weekend at the
And
school where the three of us met. So that's why I'm here.
yeah, that's a really nice
Yeah.
way to explain why we know each other and how we got here, per se. And it's
Yeah.
because basically we all knew that the beautiful system of education in Denmark or has this thing called Højskole, and the three of us joined the international group, and there we met. Gracia and I, we come from the same country. We come from Argentina, but we didn't know each other at that point. We just met in Denmark because life.
Yes.
And Pau is here because she was my beautiful roommate. We spent a whole year
Yay!
living with each other and having TED Talks until 3 a.m. And the TED Talks were kind of the idea that pushed this podcast because we'll spend hours just talking about the day and how we felt.
Hmm.
And Gracia was a really unusual guest to the room. She was always there, so she's also kind of like a roomie for us.
If you couldn't
So yeah,
find me in my own room, I was in theirs, probably. So
yeah,
Yeah. And we were always in her room doing our makeup. Like if
yeah,
there was one person that was saving me every party for doing my makeup, it was Gracia Dragoto, Maria Gracia Dragoto. She
yeah,
was always there. Like you should have seen her. She basically had a business. It was like people were lining up in front of her room to get their makeup done. It was crazy, and she never asked money people. She never did it. It was always
I was
charity.
dumb. I was stupid. That's what I was. I was not good. I was dumb. Should have asked for money. Jesus Christ.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the thing. So Snoy, the högskola we went to. What the
Yeah.
fuck is a högskola?
So,
Yeah.
what you could call Snohoy is in Denmark, the educational system is very weird. There are plenty of things that you can do. Like, if I am not mistaken, first, you of course have like kindergarten and what would be like a primary slash middle school. Um, and then you can choose to go to an aftenskolen that would be basically like the same as a high school, but before high school.
I think
Mhm.
it's for you to like figure out what kind of high school you want to choose. It's something like that.
Yeah.
Because the high school is orientated. So basically, then you can just take that year and go to like an after school would be, I guess, the translation. Um, but yeah, so then you go to high school if you want to. And once you finish high school, there's this wonderful thing called Hoyskole. That is the thing that we went to, or you can also call it a folk high school. We usually call it that because it's easier to pronounce because Danish is a pain.
Danish.
Sorry. Sorry, my wonderful Danish friends. Don't hate me. I love you.
We love you.
But yeah, so basically we decided to go there. They also have a lot of programs for internationals. And the one that we chose randomly, like because none of us knew each other, remember that,
Yes.
was Snohoy, a theater-oriented folk high school, which was freaking great.
It was
So
freaking great. I feel like we also have to mention the fact that after school and Hochschule, all of these are boarding schools. So you kind of have to live with the people all the time, every day. Only the weekends will be the time when you can leave the school. But
Yeah.
I mean, we had host families, Pau and I. But for example, Gracia, we will travel with Gracia to go outside of the school a little bit. And
yeah,
we had one class in common, which was PPA. And we basically, what we did is to learn how to produce and do production of theater, which was something funny because I went with that idea, like I was going to produce stuff, but you guys didn't go with that idea. Like you thought you were going to do something totally different, and then you hit
Yeah.
Denmark, and then you get to know, no, you're actually going to learn how to write, how to
Yeah.
perform.
yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. I
because
So
mean,
the other,
I kind of left with the idea that I would do musical more, I think, because when you went to, you have to see it, okay? When you're listening to this podcast, go to the website of Snohoy Højskole because they changed the website. And our principal, Kim, we love Kim, shout out to Kim. He's so proud of it. Like it's a new design. But before we came, it was another design, and it was not
confusing.
clear. Yeah, it was not clear which classes were for internationals and which classes were for Danish people. So a lot of us like left for Snohoy thinking that we were gonna do a musical, myself included. But apparently, musical was only for Danish. I mean, yeah, the musical was just all in Danish. And if you can't speak Danish, then it's a bit hard to be in an all Danish class, you know. And PPA was like all in English, so it was, obvious that internationals would go there. But we didn't know that at the beginning. So we arrived at the school, and like we find out, and we're like, okay, and apparently there was also like an acting course. I mean, we thought there was an acting course, but when we arrived at Snowhoy, the acting course didn't really exist, I think. It was a bit.
Well, they combined it. The thing is,
Yeah.
at Snohoy, you would have like three different directions that you could take since it was a theater-oriented school. So you would have the PPA, as PPA.
Yeah.
Um, then you would have musical, and then you would have acting. Acting and
Yeah.
musical kind of got fused together because there wasn't enough people in acting to actually like cover for the classes, so it kind of got mixed together with musical since it was the most similar one. And then PPA basically stands for what was it?
producer
Producing,
for
perform.
perform artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it like
Um,
that? I'm
Yeah,
so sorry,
producing,
mm,
Jose. Shout
performing
out to
art.
Jose. We forgot the name.
Yeah, Jose.
But
Um,
yes.
if you have to say
So
something that you have learned from PPA, because PPA was kind of like a mix of everything. At the end of the day, we had choreography, acting a little bit, writing, um,
it
a
was
little bit of
very diverse.
everything. It
You
was
would
really
really get
diverse.
to learn a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think Jose did an amazing job at teaching us how to deal with things ourselves. Like he would always be there for us, like guiding us and everything. But I feel like he knew when to let us take the wheel and when he was supposed to take the wheel and that kind of thing.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I think he also taught us a lot of how to channel the emotions in like the best way possible. PPA
Yeah.
therapy. Um, So yeah, that's
Yeah,
the thing for me.
I think Jose like taught us more than just what he taught us in the classes where we would write or like actually work on a performance. He also taught us to how to, yeah, I mean, he taught me how to communicate better with people and how to handle situations where emotions can get kind of extreme or something. Like one thing he taught me that I'm still remembering is, and that I take with me in my daily life, is when you see a person being hurt or and you feel the need to comfort them, like, you
Mm.
know, go to them and hug them or something, show some kind of comfort. You should, I mean, you shouldn't just go to people and hug them whenever you feel like they need comfort, you know, because that comes from a place where you just can't handle that they're hurting. But it's not because a person is hurting that it means that they want to be, like, that they
Hell,
want help, or that they want a hug or something. And that's a really important lesson for me, because I feel like it makes sense. Why why would it be my right to decide for someone else that they need my comfort? You know, you should ask people, do you need comfort at this moment? Because we're acting too much from our own experience and our own thoughts and thinking, okay, yeah, in this moment I would want a hug, so probably that person would want a hug too, you know? And that's a really important lesson he taught me. Like, and a lot of other lessons among that one.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice. I actually, when I think about Jose, it doesn't go for like that kind of. I don't know. I think I have to say thank you for to Jose because now I'm studying, and in Argentina I came back and I decided to study to be a director, and it was kind of his fault. No, I remember having conversations with him about the job and how like learning from here mostly. Like, don't be a ruler, and if you have a hunch,
Mm.
follow it because it has something to do. It will help you with everything. The three vetoes rule I apply to everything now in my classes. Like, I don't say no all the time. I try to like, okay, let's listen to this.
Yeah.
So yeah, PPA was a really it was a really diverse class. We had a lot of, and also the fact that we were all internationals. We were two Argentinians, a Colombian, a bunch of people from Belgium, like 10 people from
So
Belgium,
many Belgians.
a
Yes.
So many
Hungarian
Belgians.
sausage. I don't know.
Shout
It
out to
was
Belgium for sending so many people over
yes.
to Denmark. Jesus
There were
Christ.
more Belgian people than Danish people in Federation. We can confirm that.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of, you know, it was kind of fate, I guess, because I think if COVID wouldn't have been there, I probably wouldn't have come to Denmark, you know. So let's thank COVID for that. For that one
Yeah,
thing, we thank COVID.
I
Yeah,
actually
for
also
that
like
one thing.
it was so weird to me as well because technically I should have arrived in Denmark a semester earlier, but because of COVID,
Yeah,
it got cancelled, and there was no way of arriving in Denmark because everything was absolutely closed, and there was no way for me to travel from Argentina to Denmark. That would have been insane. So it's just so weird how things fit in so nicely because like then this random Argentinian and this other random Argentinian, like we didn't know each other. We come from different
No,
cities, from different provinces. It's absolutely insane. And suddenly it was like, you're from Argentina, you too. Lovely. We're besties now.
no, we are besties. But the funny part was that Pau and I we arrived pretty late. Like I arrived like a month after the school started,
yeah,
and it was like I was scared. I'm not going to lie. Because of Argentina, you couldn't go to any country of Europe because vaccines and blah 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 blah. We're not going to get into that. So I kind
Yeah.
of arrived in August when the classes started in July. I think it was something like that. And I was so
Yeah.
scared that everybody had like a
No,
group.
you
no, no,
arrived
no,
in
no, the
September.
classes.
Ah,
The
Yeah,
yeah,
you
classes
arrived
yeah,
in
the
started
September.
28th.
the classes started in August on my birthday actually.
Oh
The
yeah.
classes started on my birthday, and on my birthday I was also late because I was traveling to Italy to do the quarantine there because it was easier to
Yeah.
get from Italy to Denmark than Argentina. So that
Yeah.
was what had
Yeah.
So
to
I
be done.
arrived. So I arrived in September 28th. Now I remember.
September.
And it
Yes,
was
you
so
arrived
fucking
a month
scary.
late, and I
Yes.
arrived 2 weeks late.
2 weeks
Poor
late.
Paul was alone in that room for a month.
Yeah, I thought you were dead. Like the
Yeah,
whole
they told
school
me.
thought you were dead. The whole school thought you were dead. And then the day you arrived, everyone came to me and was like, "Pow, Pow, your roommate arrived. Your roommate arrived." And I was like, "What? What?" So it was, yeah. You were. I mean, you were
I
kind of
was a
a
ghost.
celebrity when you arrived. You were like a dead celebrity that rose from the dead or something. I don't know, but it was very cool. And look at us now. So I'm glad you weren't dead.
That that explains a lot, actually. No, I'm kidding. I do remember just going into the school. It was a Sunday, and on Sundays people are like dead at school. And
Yeah.
I go in with my host family and everything, and I see Pau coming with another Argentinian that used to be in the first semester, and they were like, "Oh my god, like it's you, like it's real." And then I went to the kitchen, and people were looking at me, and I was like, "Hi, I'm Pilar. I'm from Argentina," and everyone was like not talking, just looking. I was like, "Okay, bye, sorry." But anyway,
Yeah.
now what I
Yeah.
want to ask you guys is, how are you doing? Like, how's your life right now? Where are you living? Where are you doing? Because we were together from 2021 until the half of 2022, and
Yes.
now it's half, almost half of 2023. So after leaving Denmark, what have you done?
Yeah. What have we done? Gracia, what have you done, bitch?
Why me first? Damn it!
Because
Jesus.
she's okay. People, can we just say okay? When I just want to say this before Gracia says where she landed. Gracia is like the perfect example of actually the exchange student. Like she's a perfect example yeah, just a movie where the exchange student from a far country goes to a country, in this case Denmark. She goes to a school and she's just living her life. And what does she do? She meets a boy. Okay, she meets a boy.
I don't need
She
a
gets
boy. I got a boy.
no. She meets a boy.
Yeah,
I
you
didn't
Oh,
say you
meet a
need.
boy.
okay. I thought
I
she
didn't
said
say you
she
need a
needs
boy.
a boy. I was like, bitch.
No, of course you don't need a boy. You're an independent queen. Okay. She
Love
met a boy, and the boy is Danish. So they get into a relationship. It's a good relationship. It's a stable relationship. And what does the girl decide to do? Why the fuck would she go back to Argentina, where the only thing you find there is corruption? So why the fuck would you go back there if she can stay in Denmark with a stable boy? She's still with. She's together. She's still with for the record. They're still together. They're still together. Woohoo. Um, so I feel like you're the perfect, like the perfect picture. You know, I mean, you know what I mean? Like you're the perfect story. And in 40 years,
It's a
when
love
they're still
story.
together, it's a love story. 40 years, you can tell your kids, how did I meet your father? Well, it's a tale as old as time. You know, it's a love story as old as time. I went to another country. I met a boy. I stayed there, and voila, here you go. Gracia, tell us where you are now.
I feel like, Gracia, after Pau talk about your relationship, I had the hunch that you should tell it to Taylor Swift and make an album out of that.
Yeah,
It's a really
that
good
would be
material.
good. That
That
would
will
be a
be
good one.
actually.
I would fucking love. I
But
would
yeah,
die if I ever spoke to Taylor Swift. By the way,
no, well,
hardcore pussy. Thank you very much.
after you
The
telling
queen.
her about you and Oscar, you can die. But before that, just tell her.
Yeah. Um. Anyways, I am now again living in the city called Aarhus in Denmark. I decided to stay here long before I had a boyfriend, actually, The idea was to stay only for like 6 months, go work, and see if I could get into a European university because I've always wanted to come study abroad. And then this very lovely Danish girl wanted to be my roommate. So I got myself a lovely roommate whom I've been living with since June 2022. Um, and it's been amazing. I've gotten a job. For now, I'm just working at a school in a kitchen, helping out over there. Um, I am working and trying to actually keep on traveling for now. I guess that's that's it. I'm guessing. So yeah, that's what I'm doing now. Nothing very exciting, just working.
What about you, Pao? Are you like studying, living, chilling?
What am I doing? Guys, I just want to say, if you're going abroad for a year, don't underestimate the aftermath. Okay, like it's like you're in mourning. It's really weird, and you changed a lot. I feel like, I mean, I changed a lot, and when you come back in the country you came from, it's hard to adjust, and it's hard to find your place, and it's hard to, yeah, I don't know, find out what the fuck you're gonna do with your future. I mean, that's what I had. I think I had a clear plan. I was gonna go a year abroad, and then I was gonna study bioengineering in Belgium. And as the foolish dumbass I was, kept I stick to that plan. And I came home and I started the plan, and the plan didn't go as planned. Wow, that's a lot of plan. That's a lot of planning. Uh, so I don't know. I'm just trying to finish my year as a bioengineer now, but I mean, I only do two of the six classes I have, and then I'm gonna try for art school because I thought, I mean, I did a year of arts in Denmark, so, and actually, it's my second, it's my other biggest passion next to trying to save this planet of ours. So yeah, I'm gonna try that. And if that's not going to work out, then we always have a plan B, and the plan B is political sciences. Because why not, you know? I think it's interesting. Yeah, that's it. And I'm living in Belgium, and I don't know if I like Belgium, but I mean, that's where I'm at right now. Yes, that's it. Pilar, what
That's
about you?
okay.
Well, thank you for asking, Pao. For me, Denmark was kind of like a tryout for arts. I was actually studying political science, like Pao is thinking about doing, but then I was a little bit
Mm,
like my family. This is weird because most families are like, "Don't study arts. That's not going to give you food." My family, on the other hand, were like, "You love arts. Why the fuck are you not studying arts?" And because
mm,
Argentina was not going to finish the lockdown, like Argentina had a really long lockdown, my mom was like, "Why don't you go to Denmark, try art, come back, think about it." And so I did.
mm,
I fell in love with art, and now I moved to Buenos Aires. I come from a city in the north of Argentina. I arrive home and I keep the plan, and I am studying arts now. But it's true what Pau is saying about don't underestimate the comeback. The comeback was like it was a lot. It was trying to meet this new persona that I was and trying to make it fit again with my family and with my friends and feel more comfortable. And also the fact that I love Denmark, and because I love it, I can say that Denmark sometimes feels like a bubble country where there is no worries, there is no scary stuff. And then you forget about that. You come back and you're like, oh fuck yeah. So try to
Yeah.
readjust everything that you knew, because your whole life you have been living here in Argentina, but then you go 2 seconds outside and it's easy to get used to the good things, and then you come back and
mm.
you have to like readjust all again. But now I'm doing fine. Like I'm doing great. But yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You're right. It was living in a bubble for a year, and
Yeah.
yeah, it was, and then indeed you have to go back, or like you have to like because Gracia didn't go back. You didn't go back, but I mean, you had to start doing something. I think it's really inspiring and really cool what you did actually, like finding work, finding an apartment. I mean, I feel like it's that's scary, no? Like I feel like I would find that scary. Like how the fuck are you finding a job when you're not even I mean that good in Danish yet? Like because in Denmark, I mean, you can there are places where you could speak English, but they really like the fact if that you I mean they really like you speaking Danish, you know?
They
So
like the
how
language. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, it was hard either way, and just being at the school, it was like, yeah, being in a bubble. It was so weird to get out of a bubble. Like,
Yeah. Also, yeah, Denmark is an amazing country. They're but they're very proud of their country, Danes, and that is a great thing. But that can also be a bit hard when you're an international.
yeah,
Um, and you can really see it once you actually work. I've heard so many times my boss asking me like, "Why don't you learn Danish? Shouldn't you know Danish by now?" I've been in Denmark less than 2 years. I've taken Danish lessons. I am trying, but at the same time, it doesn't really fit with the plans that I intend. Because I could be taking Danish lessons here, but there's a thing that if I want to take like the free Danish lessons that the government offers, which is great, it's fucking amazing. It's technically supposed to be for at least 2 years, and I'm planning on moving soon. So it has never really fitted the plans. So I think that I would love to do it if I knew that I was coming back to Denmark. If I knew that once I get back to Denmark, then maybe 100% I would love to learn the language if I intend of staying here forever.
mm,
But they expect you to learn Danish. That's the first thing that you need to do. Like they're not so patient with
yeah,
the language. Though they are very good at English, they are lovely people. And a lot of the times, most times, I've just encountered very lovely people just talking in English. And you ask them, "Do you know English? I'm sorry, I don't speak Danish." And they will be like, "Oh, yeah, no problem. You just say what you need to say."
mm,
But living at the school was the real bubble because
yeah,
we didn't have to cook for ourselves. We only had to clean our rooms and
Yeah.
clean the hallways once a week or something. So it
yeah,
wasn't like a lot of things. Like we didn't have a lot of responsibilities. Yes, of course, you had to prepare for projects, you had to rehearse if you needed to rehearse, you needed to think of things for classes. But it also, we didn't have exams. Like it wasn't like, oh, we have a written exam or anything. We didn't get evaluated. We didn't get grades. We didn't pass or fail. We just were there and we were learning through practice and through actions and through the whole experience itself. So
mm,
Yeah, and
yeah,
leaving aside the academia part of a school, something that a Hungarian beautiful lady once told me, it was that it was
mhm.
all a simulation of real life, which it was true. Like the first semester, because you can choose to take one or two, we took two. The first one was kind of like adapting to the school and kind of get to know the people and whatever. The second part, I don't know you guys, but I felt like the second semester for us was kind of like an euphoria serious show kind of episode because I don't know, things
ow,
changed. We didn't we weren't
mm,
that focused maybe a little bit on the academia part. We were more focused about ourselves, the fact that some of us were coming back, some of us were moving to Denmark,
yeah,
relationship,
yeah,
love, whatever, drugs, sex, alcohol. I don't know. You get the vibe. Like we were like our minds were somewhere else. Like what the fuck are we going to do after we get out of this?
I
okay, but
feel yeah.
can we just say for a second, like the drugs part? We didn't use drugs,
No,
people.
we did.
We weren't allowed to. Like, but
It
yes,
was just
Pilar is right. But
it just went with the flow. I don't know. I didn't do drugs at the school. Please don't think that.
no,
No,
of course we
for God's
didn't.
sakes.
No, no,
Kids,
we
No, no,
no,
no.
didn't.
we didn't. We didn't.
I swear. We promise.
No, but I don't know. When I'm talking about the
Yeah,
bubble, I
yeah,
want to clarify. I'm not talking about the country being a bubble, but just the fact that living there felt like a bubble
yeah, yeah,
sometimes. Because it
Yeah.
was true what
yeah, yeah,
Gracia
of
was saying.
course.
We didn't have any responsibility. We were like we were like really good treated childs who could
Yeah, we
run
were
to
spoiled.
anyone to ask for help. Like if you were feeling
Yeah,
down, you had a teacher every now to be like, "Hey, I miss my mama," and things like that,
yeah,
and cry.
And you
exactly.
could drink alcohol.
And you can drink alcohol. Thank God for alcohol. Oh my God, that sounds like
Oh
I have
my
a.
God.
Yeah. Yes. But
And
anyways.
yeah, the Danish can drink. We know that. They taught us to
Oh
drink.
yeah.
They can drink.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I have to say thank you to the Danes because they teach me how to drink. And every time that I go out now with my friends, I don't get drunk. Like I get tipsy, but that's after 5 drinks. And I'm like, why do I have to wait until the 5th drink to get tipsy? What the fuck? That was because of Denmark. So thank you
Thank you,
Thank
very
you
much.
Denmark.
again.
Thank you for that.
You know, I didn't drink before Denmark. Now after Denmark, I most certainly drink. So I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Some people would say it's a bad thing. Some people would say it's. I mean, it's. I don't think it's either of them. It's just you know what? We learned drinking, or like they taught us to drink in a very safe environment. You know, we were not on the streets of Copenhagen in the middle of a bar with who knows who, you know, yeah. But we were in a safe school with people we knew and friends we hold very dear. So I think, I mean, I think we found a good place to start drinking. You know?
Yeah. And there was always a teacher if needed. We could always
Yeah,
call a teacher that was close by. So that was
Yep.
yeah,
also very nice.
yeah,
So if you're thinking about going to Denmark, we really recommend you to go to a højskole. It's really safe. It's really nice. Also, you learn how to live in a community. That was what I was talking
yeah,
about what Boris said to me. Because you're going to live with people you don't know. You might have fights or conflicts with them, and then learning how to deal with it after that. I mean, it's great.
mm, yeah.
Like it's easier to live. I don't know how to explain it. Like it changes you.
Mm,
Just in
Yeah.
a way. So
yeah,
well, I think we can like sum up here
yeah.
a little bit.
It was a great first episode. Oh my God.
Yeah, this is the pilot. This is episode 0, kinda.
Yeah.
So
So as I
yes,
said, we were planning about doing podcasts with Pau for a long time. We also wanted to invite Gracia, and yeah, we met there, so that was why we talk about them at the whole episode, maybe.
yes,
But it was a little bit of context, I guess. And
yeah,
if you like it, subscribe. We might do it like once a week. We don't know yet.
yeah.
Something you want to add, you guys?
For all our friends that are listening, we love you and thank you
Yes.
for listening to this podcast. And actually, we kind of, yes, I mean, you're kind of obligated to listen to this because you're our friends. Everyone else that doesn't know us, hi. Thank you for being fabulous and listening to our fabulous podcast. You're all kings and queens and everything in between. Thank you.
Yes. I think that I do want to add is if this podcast doesn't show that long distance relationships, friendships, and things can work, this is your sign. I'm sorry, but like a Belgium, two Argentinians, one living in Argentina, another one in Denmark, and we still make it work. I'm just saying.
Exactly.
I'm just
Mm-hmm.
saying. It
Yeah,
works.
true.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So go to a voice school. Go take a trip. Go on an exchange trip. Do that. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
Do that.
10 out of 10. If you are
Yes.
able to support it, 10 out of 10 recommended. But
Yes.
anyway,
Yes.
just in tag for today. I will
Thank you,
see
guys.
you
Tact.
guys. I mean, like, I still have it. I still have my Danish in it. Um,
Yes, you do.
yeah,
My
I
God, we
know,
don't lose
right?
it.
I'm a fluent. I am actually not living in Buenos Aires. I'm actually living in how was the city that I love, Gracia? What was his name?
Shout out to the people in college.
I was really
Dang.
ashamed of telling you guys. No, I'm kidding. I
Okay,
love
okay.
you. Hope to see you next
Anyway.
Monday. Hope to that you are listening to us next Monday. Question mark.
Yes, of course.
Love you very muchos. Hi.
Hi,
Besito,
hi.
besito.
And cut, Pau. And now this is the edit.
And this
And
is
now
the
you're
end.
cutting.